went from not knowing anything about jazz improvisation to knowing quite a bit about jazz improvisation. My name is GuitarMan, and I teach people how to improvise the non-BS way. I almost feel like a superstar holding this mic like this. First step in how I taught myself improvisation was realizing that I could play one line over many different chords and many different situations. So I thought the only scale you could play over an A minor chord was an A minor Dorian. Little did I know that I could use that A minor scale to play over a D7. I could play it over an F sharp minor 7 flat 5. I could use it over a C major 7. I could use it over a G major 7. I could use it over A flat 7. And when I learned that, when that clicked for me, that was the first step for me to like realize, okay, it's not about that boxed in way of thinking, which I think most of us are trapped in that boxed in way of thinking. Like when that belief got crushed, then I realized that improvisation is easier than I thought. Okay, so that made me so much more interested in improvisation. So that thing of like, okay, I can use this one phrase in many different situations, over many different chords. It was like almost that thing made me so, it made me want to like learn more about this. So I went online and I started like, or actually I didn't go online, but I just like came across a video of someone playing the Pat Martino lines from Linear Expressions. And I was like, wow, that sounds so cool. And what that guy did was he only played G minor lines. And it was like, I remember seeing that line as like, wait, it looks like he's playing a scale up, but it sounds bebop. And I was like, that's what I want. I want formations almost. That's what he played. He played different formations, like it was called line study 1, line study B. It was a while ago I read that book, but I remember it so well that like, wow, it looks like he's playing a scale, but it sounds like music. So I was like, okay, so I should read that book. So I should learn more about that book. So I was like, really getting into that. I was reading that book, I was transcribing everything, and I realized this is what I like. Like I like this. I like this way of thinking because it makes me not overwhelmed. Like I was so overwhelmed by the way of boxed in thinking that was like this chord over this scale or this scale over this chord. And I realized, wait, I can use this scale and use it over like 100 different situations. So I was like, okay, now how can I optimize this for this way of thinking? So how I optimized it was learning minor like Pat Martino. So Pat Martino literally teaches us to play minor. In his book, he has G minor as the first formation, like from the 3rd fret. And then he goes up, does it from the 3rd, he does it from the 5th, he does it from the 7th. And that's basically it. So it kind of outlines a G minor 7. So you have these phrases, these 4 phrases all over the neck. And then what I did was I just learned that in every key. And then I learned how to apply those lines over every situation, over every standard that I came across. That gave me the results that I wanted. So that's basically what the second step is all about, right? So the second step was literally applying the lines I learned from Linear Expressions by Pat Martino. The second step was applying the lines over standards. Okay, so it was like I knew a lot of standards, but now I could take the standards I knew and I could kind of rewire them, reprogram the way I was thinking about the standards to make it fit this way of thinking. So taking Donna Lee, for example, the tune I played in the intro, did you know over Donna Lee, it starts on an A flat major 7, goes to F7, and then goes to B flat 7. That's the first 3 chords. Did you know that over those first chords, you can just think about it as a 2-5-1 in B flat? I bet you didn't know that. That's what I learned from using this. I learned that I can just think of it as like C minor, F7, B flat 7, instead of A flat major 7, F7, B flat 7, because thinking A flat major 7 to F7 literally makes your brain go, wait, I don't know that. Whoa, that's a jump. So you try to play the A flat major scale to F7 scale. It's like too much happening. And remember, when drummers count them off like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, you can't think like that. Okay, so you have to make it easy. You have to make it like optimized for improvisation. And when I realized that, now it's so much easier to think like that. So playing C minor, F7, B flat instead of A flat major 7, F7, B flat, that made me realize how to improvise for real. It's just rearranging everything, thinking minor, seeing why does a C minor work over an A flat major 7? Oh, because it's the minor built from the 3rd of the A flat. So it's like you start realizing how stuff is connected. And all of a sudden, you just become friends with all these different things that are happening. You see an A flat major 7 going to an F7, you just think C minor, because A flat major 7 and F7 and C minor are all related. So I made a course about this called GuitArmin Method. In GuitArmin Method, I teach all these lines that I've learned, and I've done it in a step-by-step fashion. Check that out in the description if you want. I'm just going to apply one of the Pat Martino inspired lines over the first few chords of Donna Lee, just so you can get an idea of how it sounds like. So as I said, if you're interested in minor conversion, you're interested in this way of thinking, I definitely recommend you getting my course. The pre-sale will end in this month, so if you want it for a cheaper price, I really recommend you getting it right now. So the minor conversion way of thinking really changed my life to the better, because it made my mind realize that it's all just related. Like all chords we see on a standard is all just related in such a cool way. It's not about playing over every chord. Playing the changes has gotten so much attention, like that concept of playing the changes will automatically happen when you see the relationship between the chords. It's all just a family of chords going around, and you're playing around with all the different possibilities, if that makes sense. As soon as I started applying this method, I realized, wow, I actually sound good in an instant. It took a while to get good at it, yes, but I did sound good in an instant, and that just made me eager to practice, right? So I just naturally wanted to practice this because I found something that worked for me. It gave me this motivation to learn difficult tunes too. Like I remember learning Moment's Notice and Stablemates, these difficult standards, because it was like I can just apply this method to these standards, and it did work. And I'm so grateful for it. And that's how I improvise today. It's like I'm not doing anything different today. I literally do this today. And if you would apply this method, it will work for you too. Like if you find that, wow, this is fun, this works, and you get this eagerness to practice, well, then it will work for you, because then you'll just practice because it's fun, because you want to learn more, and that's where you want to be. So basically what I hope for you is for you to get into this positive practice loop that will happen when you find yourself sounding good. And then after that, go from there, all right? Trust the process from there. You will just want to practice. Like how amazing isn't that to really feel like you want to sit down and learn with your guitar because you have this method that simplifies improvisation. And that's basically it. So go have fun, go practice, and remember to get the pre-sale if you're interested in this stuff. The pre-sale will end in this month, and I'm not sure when. Almost all of the first module is done. I still have module 2 and module 3, which will be done in a few weeks. So if you want to save money, I really recommend you getting it right now. It's going to be the best course on this ever. I have gone to music school, but this was the thing that got me good at improvisation. So I really recommend you getting it if you're interested. Other than that, I hope I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, practice. See you later.